In this tutorial, I'm going to cover coloring this black and white butterfly image. I'm going to my layer window, and the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the values of this. So if I go down to the bottom of the layer window, I'll see a circle that's half white and half gray. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to choose levels. Now when you first initiate the change of your levels, you'll want to hold down the Option key and you're going to grab from the lighter value slider bar that appears below the graph that we see in the Properties window. And if you don't see the Properties window, you can go up to Window and you'll see it listed there just as you'll find any other window you may need in Photoshop. I'm holding the Option key and I'm dragging slowly to the left until I see a little bit more lighter value, and I'm going to let go. I'm going to hold the Option once again. I'm going to drag to the right, and when I click, had it gone all white, I would have dragged to the right till I start to see some dark content. I can see by the physical representation of the graph that there's plenty of dark as well as middle value content. I'm going to return to my layer window and I'm going to put a new blank layer in. Now this whole process just rests upon adding layers for each color that you feel necessary and then changing the blend modes and the opacity. So I'll start by hitting L on the keyboard, and I'll go in and I'll select the area where the wing might be. Now I'm doing this in a very general way. I'll probably return and use my pen tool, but I've got the general shape that I want. Now it's a matter of going to my swatch window and choosing the color I would like to start with. So I'm going to go with a pale yellow, and I'm going to hit Option Delete on the keyboard. Now, in order for me to see the content of the photo below, I need to change the blend modes. And I can do that by going into the layer window, and where it says normal, if I were to click there, these are all my options. That'll give me some form of translucence to that now opaque color I have in my layer. So I'm going to click on multiply, and you can see now that I can see through that pretty nicely. Now I could add another layer so that I can perhaps put some orange in. My recommendation is to add as many layers as you need for each specific color so that you're not building all one color on a single layer that might be set for multiply or whatever blend mode you choose, because each color has its own value. Yellow has less value than blue, blue has more than red, etc. So you'll just need to use as many layers so that you have control over the amount of color that you want in your picture. So now I'm going to go and I'll get an orange, and I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to set my brush for a soft edge, and I'll just bump up the opacity on that, and I'll start to paint where I might want it to be. I'll return to my layer window. There we go. And I'm going to pick a blend mode for that. Now I could click and test each one of these individually. It would be pretty arduous to have to go through and test each one. So what you'll find is that once you're comfortable with Adobe Photoshop, if I were to go to my Move tool now and select it, I can now use my Shift and plus or minus to go through the variations of that blend mode on that particular layer. So if I hit Shift plus, I go forward. If I hit Shift minus, I go through that entire menu that we would see if we held our cursor over our interface. So that's a quick, easy way to adjust the values and then to work within the coloring of a black and white image. I've added a couple more layers with some extra color here, and if I was to go in and turn them on and off sequentially, you can see now down here is my original black and white image at the bottom of the layer order, and then all the other subsequent layers have got their own color assigned to them. Now if any of my layers may need refinement where color appears that I don't want it to appear, I'll go down and put a layer mask on that particular layer and clean it up. So the layer mask icon is a box with a gray circle. I'll click on it. I'll hit B for brush. I'll find the brush size I need, and I will eliminate where I don't need a particular color. Now I've set the brush for kind of a soft edge here to accommodate the nature of the black and white drawing below. And you'll notice that if you look at your layer mask icon, the thumbnail that appears in the layer window, you'll see black content wherever information is hidden. Now I'm being sure that I've set it for default black and white, 100% opacity, flow 100%, and a normal brush mode. If I needed to retrieve any blue that was erased by accident, in this case of the background, I could put the white on top, and then I can retrieve by painting once again over the area that I'd like to bring back.